This preseason game will shake everything you thought you knew about the Panthers. Bryce Young stepped onto that field like a man on a mission, cool, sharp, and unstoppable. But there's more to this story: the hidden heroes, the big surprises, and a bold new look that might just change the whole game. You don't want to miss a second of this. Stay tuned to see who's winning, who's struggling, and what's next for Carolina football. All right, Panther fans, listen up. We just witnessed the first preseason battle against the Browns, and I've got the winners and losers ready for you. But first, let me say this: those Carolina blue home jerseys, pure fire. Seriously, the way they shine with the silver helmets and pants, whether they're silver or white, it didn't even matter on TV. That silver stripe popped like nothing else, giving the whole team a fierce, unstoppable look. If they keep this as the full-time home kit, Carolina will be turning heads all season long. And hey, if they want to switch to the all-black look, that would be just as deadly. Either way, the Panthers looked like a team that means business right from the jump. But now, on to the real story. Bryce Young. Man, this guy showed up and showed out. It felt like he never left the field after last season. The way he moved, threw, and led the offense was pure confidence. Yes, this was a preseason game against a Browns second-string defense. And yes, the Panthers were missing big names like Myles Garrett, Derek Brown, and J.C. Horn. Those players would have made a huge difference, no doubt. But Bryce? He didn't let that slow him down for 1 second. After a shaky start with a 3-and-out on the first drive, Bryce took control. The second drive showed us the Bryce Young we all got excited about last season, the one with lightning-fast decisions and unbelievable anticipation. He was throwing darts at Tetro McMillan before the receiver even cut his route. That kind of anticipation is rare. He's reading defenses like a seasoned pro. I loved seeing Bryce escape the pocket to make a touchdown pass, showing off his sneaky speed and quick moves. Sure, he's not the biggest or fastest guy, but he's smart and nimble. He kept his cool under pressure, made great connections, especially with Jalen Coker, and delivered a beautiful pass right into the back of the end zone. There were a couple of throws that missed their marks behind guys like Chuba Hubbard and Adam Thielen, but that's part of the game. What matters is Bryce's ability to stay calm, adapt, and push his team forward. This young QB is growing fast, and if he keeps playing like this, the Panthers could have a real star on their hands. Now, Bryce needs to balance running with smart pocket play because while his moves are exciting, staying in the pocket and moving carefully to find his receivers will keep those big plays coming and keep the Panthers winning. What do you think, Panther fans? How confident are you in Bryce Young leading this team this season? Drop your thoughts and your confidence level in the comments below. Let's get the conversation started. All right, Panthers fans, here's the deal. Bryce Young looked sharp again. His connection with his wide receivers, especially number 4, was on fire. It felt like he was totally in sync, making those quick reads and precise throws. But here's a major win for the team that might fly under the radar: head coach Dave Cannels. Last year, Cannels didn't play his starters enough during preseason, and it showed. The team stumbled early, and Bryce even got benched in the first weeks. This time, Cannels is making sure the key players get reps early, and that's a smart move. He's giving them a chance to feel the heat, make mistakes, and build chemistry now before the real games start. This week, the Panthers face the Houston Texans on the road, and Cannels plans to play 3 series. The Texans have a tough defense, so it will be a real test for Bryce and the offense. These reps are crucial. They're ironing out the kinks, especially the timing between Bryce and his top receivers like Tetro McMillan and Chuba Hubbard. Fix those chemistry issues now, and the Panthers will be much stronger in Week 1 against Jacksonville. Speaking of Tetro McMillan, what a star! His first NFL preseason game was electric. Despite a crowd heavy with Browns fans, Tetro caught nearly 50 yards and almost scored a touchdown. His very first catch was a stunning 29-yard reception, showing off incredible hands and that amazing catch radius we all hoped for. When Bryce threw it, only Tetro could get to that ball, and that's exactly why he was picked 8th overall. Sure, he did drop a touchdown pass in the end zone, but he's honest about it. He knows he needs to turn his head faster to track the ball better. That's the kind of stuff the Panthers coaching staff will hammer in during practice. Once those little fixes click, Tetro and Bryce will be a nightmare combo for defenses. Don't forget, Tetro isn't scared of the big names or hype. He played Travis Hunter in high school and knows what to expect. That kind of experience means he can handle pressure and still perform. By week one, I expect these two to have a real connection that lights up the field, and the momentum doesn't stop there. Jalen Coker, the quiet but deadly undrafted free agent, showed us why you can never overlook him. Last season, he caught everyone's attention, and this year, he's taken it up a notch. Kennels even talked about how Jalen took the offseason seriously, improving his body, his nutrition, and training hard to get in better shape. He's still young with that baby face, but on the field, he's a killer. When the wide receiver group got thin due to an ejection, more on that later, Jalen stepped up big time. His communication with Bryce is strong, and that one-handed catch he made, even if it didn't count, was a statement. He's ready to contribute whenever called upon. That's why some experts are buzzing. If the Panthers' wide receiver room can keep 7 or more players ready to go, they might lead the entire league in depth and firepower. If Tetro McMillan has a big day, and if Adam Thielen or XL steps up, and then Jalen Coker fills in when needed, watch out, NFL defenses. The Panthers could have too much talent to handle. What do you think about the Panthers receivers and Bryce Young's progress? Are you confident this group will light up the NFL this season? Drop your thoughts and rate your excitement in the comments below. Let's hear your voice, Panther fans. The Panthers' offense is heating up, but the defense is making headlines too. Undrafted rookies rising, hidden stars emerging, and yes, some drama too. This preseason game showed us who's ready to shine and who might be on thin ice. Stick with me because what's coming next will shock you and get you fired up. Now, listen up. Bryce Young might already have that capital A anticipation, the kind that sets apart great quarterbacks, and he's building serious chemistry with Jalen Coker after playing together last year. If that connection keeps growing, Bryce could explode with a breakout season. Yeah, it's preseason, and yeah, these plays came mostly against second and third string Browns defense. But don't let that fool you. Jalen Coker is quietly becoming a major weapon. By the start of the regular season, I wouldn't be surprised if Tetro McMillan is the Panthers' #1 wide receiver and Jalen Coker locks down the #2 spot. The way he's been working, the dedication he's put in during the offseason, it's paying off. People sometimes forget about Jalen because he keeps quiet in the offseason. No flashy moves or hype. He just grinds on the field. That makes him a huge winner in this story. Now, shifting gears to defense, there's one name everyone is talking about right now, Corey Thornton. No, he's not a hockey player from Canada. He's a rookie cornerback out of Louisville, an undrafted free agent like Jalen Coker. And just like Coker, Thornton is making waves. Imagine this, a rookie coming out of nowhere, laying down tough pass breakups and showing real toughness. Sure, he got beaten on one touchdown, but his tenacity and promise are clear. In the NFL, especially preseason, that's what counts, showing fight, learning quickly, and getting better every snap. Mike Jack even said on the Mac and Bone podcast, don't panic just because you don't know the names. These guys are ballers. Thornton is a big-bodied cornerback, around 6'1" and 195 pounds, who moves with power but still stays agile. Mike Jack talked about how big cornerbacks have to train differently, balancing weight and speed. Thornton fits that mold perfectly. Could Corey Thornton be the Panthers' #3 cornerback this year? He's definitely on track. And here's the best part. Panthers fans are winners. The stadium felt electric, even with a good number of Browns fans in attendance. Tickets for a preseason game were pricey, $300 a pop. That shows how excited people are. Now, it's time to talk about the losers. And yeah, it hurts. Xavier Legette got ejected in the first quarter after throwing 4 hard punches at the Browns quarterback. The drama started earlier. Apparently, the Browns QB threw a football at Chuba Hubbard's helmet during practice, and the players saved their fight for the game. Watching the film, Xavier's block was solid, a real hard hit. But then he crossed the line, punching the opponent's face mask multiple times. This is a wide receiver we're talking about. He needs his hands to catch the ball. Fans have already been keeping track of his drops. Now, risking injury by throwing punches? That's reckless and could cost him serious time with a broken finger or worse. My biggest fear? Waking up tomorrow hearing Xavier Legette is out for months because of his own foolishness. That would be a disaster for the Panthers. What do you think about these rising stars and the drama on the field? Are Corey Thornton and Jalen Coker the Panthers' future weapons? And what's your take on Xavier Legette's outburst? Drop your thoughts below and rate your confidence in the Panthers this season. The Panthers are facing some serious growing pains. Big stars struggling, key injuries piling up, and the clock is ticking. Can this team turn it around before the real battles begin? Stay tuned because the truth might shock you. All right, Panthers fans, let's get real for a moment. Sometimes, even when you try your best, things just don't click. Xavier Legette's situation this preseason is a perfect example. Look, I'm not saying everything he did during the offseason was wrong. Far from it. But here's the truth. When you're everywhere all the time, people start tuning out. It's human nature. And if you throw away your chance by getting ejected in a preseason game, it's hard to defend that. That's why it feels like Jalen Coker is the safer bet right now for wide receiver 2. Coker might not have the flashy reputation or the big hype, but he's steady, reliable, and most importantly, available. In the NFL, the best ability is availability. You can't help your team if you're sitting on the sidelines because of your own mistakes. Imagine if DJ Moore came back healthy, paired with Adam Thielen, David Moore, and the emerging Tetro McMillan. The Panthers could have a solid wide receiver group. But with Leggett losing his spot due to that reckless ejection, the path might be wide open for Coker to step up. Leggett had a hot start as a rookie last year, but cooled off, maybe because of the quarterback change or just the natural ups and downs. He needs to focus, get his head right, and show he's a professional. I believe he can do it, but right now he's a loser in this preseason snapshot. Now, let's talk about another tough blow for the Panthers, Hunter Renfrow. The man battled a tough autoimmune condition and missed last season. Now, he's sidelined again with a hamstring injury. Soft tissue injuries like this can be tricky. Sometimes teams hold players out to protect them for the long haul. Maybe that's what's happening here, but it's still a worrying sign. Renfrow didn't even make it to the first preseason game, and it's unclear if he'll play in the next one against the Houston Texans. This isn't like Deebo Samuel, who's guaranteed a spot. Renfrow could be fighting for his roster spot if others step up, like David Moore and Jimmy Horn Jr., who both contributed in the game. The sad truth? Even though Renfrow flashed greatness in practice, missing games puts his spot at risk. He didn't participate in joint practices either. There's also chatter, take it with a grain of salt, that Renfrow and Adam Thielen could be packaged in a trade to a team chasing a Super Bowl run. It's just a rumor, but with the rise of players like Tetro McMillan and Jalen Coker, plus the solid play of David Moore, the Panthers might be looking at reshaping their receiver group. On the injury front for the offense, the Panthers are also hurting on the line. Chandel Zavala and Damon Lewis are both out. Zavala is a depth player, and Lewis is sidelined with a shoulder strain. Losing offensive line pieces early in the preseason is a big problem. Bottom line, it's early days. This is preseason, after all, and a lot can change by week 2 or even by the start of the regular season. But right now, the Panthers have some worrying gaps and big questions to answer. What do you think? Will Jalen Coker seize this moment to become a star? Can Xavier Legette turn things around? And how worried are you about Hunter Renfrow's injury? Drop your thoughts below and tell me, how confident are you in the Panthers heading into the new season? The Panthers' defense looked like Swiss cheese against the Browns. Backup players got exposed, and the fans are divided on who should start. Can this team fix its biggest weakness before it's too late? Let's break it all down. All right, Panthers fans, here's a tough truth. The backup defenders looked really bad in that first preseason game. I'm talking about the guys who should be ready to step up when the starters need a break. But right now, they're getting torched. One sharp NFL insider, Aaron from Unnecessary Bluntness, put it perfectly. It's preseason, yes, but why are all the other teams' backups better than ours? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. We saw one bright spot, Jalen Coker's touchdown catch, but after that, the Browns' offense just did whatever they wanted. And it wasn't just luck. Players like Nick Scordon and Princey Umian Milan were out there making plays, racking up stats, pressures, and tackles for loss. But even with those flashes, the defense looked like Swiss cheese. They couldn't stop the run or the pass. Shatter Sanders, the Panthers running back, barely made any impact. He rushed for only about 12 to 20 yards the entire game. That's embarrassing, especially when the Browns aren't even expected to be great this season. Yes, the starters got some success. DJ Wanham made a big play, causing a 15-yard loss on a Browns scramble. But if our backups are the weak link, that's a huge problem. Injuries happen in the NFL. Backup players have to be ready to step up. Right now, it's a scary thought that these backups might not be enough to keep the defense solid. Training camp cuts are coming, and hopefully, the Panthers scouts will find some hidden gems who can add depth and toughness to this defense. Because if the Browns, who might win only 4 or 5 games this year, can light us up this easily, there's a lot of work to do. Now, let's talk about another controversial loser, the fans who don't want Nick Scott to start at safety. Head coach Dave Cannells has been clear. Nick Scott has earned his spot as a starting safety. He and Dan Morgan have stood by him, even though some fans want to see rookies like Deontay Richardson or Lansam Ransom get a chance. Sure, starting a rookie week one is risky. Maybe it makes sense to have the veteran Scott start now and hand off the reins later. But still, some fans just don't want him well, maybe because his name sounds too boring. Who even buys a Nick Scott jersey, right? I'm telling you, Scott is solid and dependable, and if the coaches trust him, I'm all in. And before I forget, shout out to the rookie defensive ends Nick Scordon and Princey Milan. These guys showed flashes of greatness. They were beating offensive linemen with slick moves, spins, swims, and pure power to get pressure on the quarterback. Nick Scordon even bulldozed defenders to make tackles and disrupt plays. This is exactly what the Panthers need more of on defense: hunger, grit, and smart play. Scordon's looked fitter, faster, and ready to take on bigger roles. That's a huge positive. So, Panthers fans, after all this, who's your winner and who's your loser from the first preseason game? Let's have some fun, overreact a little, and share your thoughts below. Who impressed you the most on defense? Are the backups a serious concern or just preseason jitters? Drop your hottest takes in the comments and let's see who's really ready for the season.